Okay, greetings, everyone. Welcome back to another cast with Trend Following Tyson, and uh, this is kind of interesting because I know the markets are in a disarray. I know the markets are bearish. Blah blah blah. I know all that. Okay, so called. That's what the sentiment is. All right. So doing my scans, I did see a lot of activity, and what I saw. So I had a list that was basically a watch list, you know, stocks we can watch, this and that, trends on the run and things like that. But as I started doing the watch list, what came to make more sense was there was a lot of dirty dancing. There was a lot of stocks grinding on the trend line, and there was a lot of evidence of stocks bouncing off those trend lines. So and in my opinion, especially in this state that we're in now, there's not really a better way to trade because it's going to tighten up your risk and it's going to give you better entries if you're making those entries off the trend line, or if you're making those entries off the 200-day moving average or respected moving averages and such forth. So there's a lot of trend line grinding going on, what I like to call Patrick Swayze sort of dirty dancing. So let's take a look. Let's put the market in the proper perspective, because personally I see a lot of tweets and I know everybody's mostly cash, and I'm going to be perfectly honest with you guys. I am about 50% 40 to 50% cash right now. I do have quite a few. I do have some open longs, and we'll discuss those when the show as we get further on. But and basically stocks are forcing my hand, so to speak, forcing me to buy them. Because as you know, if you guys heard the show before, you know, if you look at Richard, if you listen to any of the things about Richard Dennis and Jerry Parker, that whole story there, you know, Richard Dennis came down on Jerry Parker for not taking the signals that he was supposed to take. Okay, so that's one of the most important things, is to take the signals that we're supposed to take. Right now, what I'm doing is I don't like to say that I'm kind of like persuading the market or challenge the market, but I am challenging the market. I am buying these support zones, and I'm asking the market, hey, if I'm incorrect, please stop me out, and we'll get to that too. So let's jump into the trend picture. I know I did a lot of babbling there, but we're going to make some sense of what we're doing here. So risk management is the most important thing to be well understood. Undertrade is my second piece of advice. Whatever you think your position ought to be, cut it at least in half. Billionaire advice from Bruce Coven. And of course, in this environment, we're going to be undertrading, because no matter how many signals we take, you know, we should be undertrading, especially with things kind of looking like they're not working in our favor. This is going to be really important that we're going to deal with right now. Place your stops at a point that, if reached, will reasonably indicate that the trade is wrong. Not a point determined primarily by the maximum dollar amount you're willing to lose. Okay? If we were basing this off the trend, and we're gonna be using this trend line right now inside the show. If we were gonna be basing this off the trend, and where the trend says it's wrong at, looks like we found a trend line here. We should be placing our stops out below this level here, 1065. Okay? Place your stops at a point that, if reached, will reasonably indicate that the trade is wrong, not a point determined primarily by the maximum dollar amount you're willing to lose. First, we find out where our stop should be based on the trend, and then we place that. So if this is going to be our stop, we just looked at that based on this trend line bouncing off this 200-day moving average, and we got some confirmation because we're moving up off of it. Your stop's gonna be 1065, 1060. Okay, that's about $1 stop from where we are now. You need to place that inside of your risk management. Okay, beautiful stuff from Bruce Coven, and I think he may be talking about trend lines. If you really look at this quote, talking about trend following. And I saw another interesting quote from Stephen Burns. If anybody follows Twitter, look at Stephen Burns. He put out a list of some of the 10 most successful traders of all time, and he kind of broken this down and why they were the most successful traders of all time. Let me tell you, about 7 to 10 of those traders were all trend followers. And mainly they were the best traders of all time because of the wealth they created. But 7 out of 10 of those traders were all trend followers. And we're listening to words when we're breaking down some science, all right, from one right now. And when we're relaying it right into our trading, and especially in a time like this where it makes total sense. We're placing our stops. This is our offense, is to keep us in this big move, not to stop us out of this big move. Our offense is to stay in this big move as long as we can, as long as the trend says for it that we're correct and we're going to stay in it. Let's not tighten our stops up to where we're stopping ourselves out of trends that are going to continue to the upside, okay? So we'll be looking at that now. So beautiful stuff from Bruce Carpenter. I appreciate it. All right. Let's jump into the trend picture. Let's jump into the trend picture and see what we got here. Beautiful stuff, guys. So true, I like this thing for continuation. Looks like it found some support. If this thing got away from you earlier this year, you're finding a chance here as it bounced off this 200-day moving average, and prices seem like they're bouncing and continuing off this trend line here. Okay, so continuation there. Okay, true car. And we're going to move really quickly because we have a lot of stocks here. Regardless of what everyone else is saying in the market, you guys have to have a mind of your own. You have to be able to trade, all right? You have to be able to find these signals for yourself. Trivago also kind of grinding this little space down here. Grinding from here to here. Let me tighten up the time frame a little bit. Kind of make some sense of this. So here's the trend line. We're gonna trade it just like this, okay? All these buys off the trend line. So here's another one. If you could have bought this trend line here, could have bought this bounce here off the continuation, there you go. Okay, so we might bounce through that. I wouldn't buy that just now. This thing may revert back. As you see, it sets higher highs though. It reverts, set higher highs, reverts, set higher highs, reverts, set higher highs, reverts. This thing may set a higher, as you see it reverted again, made another higher. This pattern is totally in rhythm. So look for a higher above that. And this thing may pull back into this area. So I'd actually wait for some pullback into this area. All right, Trivago. And I knew this was a good stock from just from it being so overpriced earlier this year. It was way priced up. I thought I saw it about $15 or something like that, $20. But anyways, you see it here now. Just was a perfect buy zone, and we just broke the time frame down. Why that thing looks awesome. So Trivago. Wait for that thing to revert back to the mean, and that thing's totally working. Here's one of my open longs that's totally working out. ATRS. All right, so here's what happened with ATRS. Another trend line thing here. I'm long this thing, and I started adding back in this area. And I was like, okay, trend line looks like it started to hold, and we started buying here, and it totally worked out. So another winner and another proof that we're just gonna keep forcing the market to force our hand. If you guys want us to buy these, basically telling the market, hey, you want us to buy these, you're gonna stop us out. That's the price of doing business. But if not, we're gonna go ahead and collect on the upside. Plenty of stocks looking like this right now. Plenty of stocks looking like this. Let's look at Sprint. You guys remember this thing from the show? How good it was looking? You guys remember this thing from the show? How good it was looking? All right. Earlier this year, we were kind of breaking down this Sprint thing, and it just looks awesome. All right, so, and it's at the higher point. So here it is here. Trend line, just grinding this thing here, kind of reverted back, and you could have bought it there, and now it's taken off to the upside. So I like this thing to continue to push to the upside. Watch for it to revert back. If this thing does revert back to the trend line, to this 200-day moving average, or anywhere in this pullback, you guys know those pullbacks are golden. That's just my outlook for right now. And I know a lot of people are terrified, and a lot of people are, you know, in cash, and which is totally respectable. But, you know, for my evidence right now, I have to be buying these trend lines because I've got a lot of prices bouncing off their trend lines right now. They're off their reversion, sort of like reverting to their means, and we have to buy them. Here's another one kind of bouncing off this trend line here. You can see it from here into this area here. So you could have bought it when it bounced here. I like this thing maybe to revert back into this area. Watch this thing and see what it does. I wouldn't buy it just yet, but just know that there's some kind of a supply zone inside of here. So watch that thing. If it comes back into this area, you see that this trend line's kind of moving up, so it may revert back and it's kind of tightening up. So watch that SCSC for continuation. SCS. RFP looked at really good this year. And what I was also noticing is a lot of stocks that kind of got away from people this year are giving you some entry spaces. So here goes this RFP. It was kind of grinding in this, bouncing off the trend line here, got way up there and kind of reverted back in this little area. I guess what the markets were bearish, so to speak, a lot of things were reverting back to these kind of trend line areas. So you could have bought it there as it reverted back, and then you got the continuation as it started to bounce off that 200-day moving average. A lot of stuff bouncing off these moving averages here. Okay. All right. So RFP was another one, grinding that trend line. For continuation, PACB, I know something big happened in this one, but guess what? This one's been on our list, and let me show you something, another reason why. Here goes this trend line here, and this thing made a reversion back to it. When it made a reversion back to the trend line, you could have bought it there with some continuation, showing you some continuation and some strength that it was actually bouncing off this area. So trend line there, and you could have bought it in continuation on PACB. All right, NIHD, something else we were trading this year. It was on our watch list this week, guys. These things aren't out of the blue. A lot of people, you know, what I keep showing people is that a lot of this stuff we've already been watching. It was already on our watch list, so it's no strange music for us. What I wanted to show you on NIHD was you could have bought the trend line here. Okay, it was grinding up in this area here, just kind of see prices being pushed here, and I saw it all month long, all for the last couple weeks, and I said this thing's really grinding this area. I'd like to buy it in here, and sure enough, it just boom, boom, boom. People buying this, pushing these prices down here, and just got a huge pop over the yearly high here. So that was a winner from this year. As you see all this trend line space, look, we were trading this thing way back here, guys. When it first came into this area here, we first started buying it over 250. So another huge winner, another good hands down. Give some respect to trend following there. All right, only way I know how to really capitalize off these moves. Look at run, guys. Giving us some reversion off this trend line here, okay? You see it here, and you can kind of just draw it from there to there. Here it is here. So I like this thing to get bought. You can buy this now, and your stop's going to be around this area here. Actually, trend lines are moving up around this area, so you can put your stop below that around this $8, $11, you know, $12 area, and then this area here would be the last $11.25, okay? Run looking really good, reverting off that trend line. Looks like it's ready to go. These things are good buys right now because you're just buying right on those support levels. Those trend lines are like moving support levels, okay? Moving supply zones. VCYT, you could have bought it off the trend line when it reverted here. Here's the trend line here, okay? Reverted in there, pulled back, and then reverted to this trend here, reverted there. You can just basically draw it from here all the way across to there. Kind of got close to this 200 and bounced, okay? So looking really good. VCYT, you could have bought off that trend line. I wouldn't buy it way up in this zone here, but I'm just showing you guys, look, this is where things are reverting to. This is where you got to force the market's hand. Look, if you guys are going to hold up, price is going to hold, I'm going to buy you here, and you're going to have to force me out. And if you don't force me out, then that's a winning trade, okay? So force the market's hand. Force the market to force your hand. Force the market to force your hand. See this thing right here? Popped up, came down, popped up, and then I'd like to buy it there in this area. Okay, so watch to see what happens with VCYT. That thing just on the move. Huge action here. Maybe some earning things or something like that. But just goes to show you, if you guys are buying where you should be buying, and just sit tight, put your stops in, let price force you out. Like Bruce Carpenter said, place your stops at a point that shows the trend is wrong, or that you're wrong in your, in your outlook, and then we'll go from there. Okay, VKTX. All right. Showing us some trend line space here, okay? VKTX popped up here, grind it. Now it's showing us some space here inside this area. I'd like to buy it right now and kind of stop ourselves out below this little grinding area here. See this little, all right, this area here. So 1375, 1350. And if we don't get stopped out very well, this thing definitely on its way to the upside, though. Definitely pushing this issue to. Okay. VSTM. All right, something else that just reverted back to the trend line, kind of reverted back to this area. You can see it across here. All right, kind of buy it off this area and pick it up here. I see buyers. Excuse me. I see buyers picking up price right now. Kind of testing this area. So I'd like to test this now. You can buy it. Perfect place to buy it now because you didn't just buy it there. Now you got some confirmation that this is a bottom. So use this as a bottom, guys, at 465 and let that thing force you out. If you don't get forced out, huge upside if that thing can continue what it was doing there. It very well may, because this is definitely a uptrend to the upside. And then we had our major pullback to these means. A lot of pullback to these means, a lot of reversions back. Okay, and then here we go. That thing could just continue its way through. May get a little whippy, but definitely hold that as long as you're not stopped out. Definitely some upside in that VSTM. As you guys see, we're seeing a lot of reversions back to these trend lines here. Nothing but good, beautiful buy zones in my opinion. Here goes this wow thing, kind of on the move, kind of pulled back here. Now you see it continuing again. So I like to use this as another stop out area. Give us a tight stop. I like to buy things in their trend line area so they can give us a tight stop, something to go off of, okay? If we get stopped out, that's the price of doing business. If not, that's a winning trade, okay? YGYI. Longevity, we were looking at this thing last week. And why were we looking at it? Because what did it do? It pulled back and it was showing us some spaces we could have used as buying zones, and we're looking at it right here. We had got a bounce and we got a bouncer, and I said, okay, looks like the move may be on, and look, it still continued. So, and it's still setting up a little trending area right here. You see it right here. So stop yourselves out below 810 and 785, below this little trending area here. Okay, use that as another little space for your, like a little safe zone. All right, stop yourself out 790. YGYI. All right, ARWR looking well. Let's see why. Let me show you why this thing looks so darn good. Okay. All right. We're not making any guesses. We're just following price, guys. If price is showing us, we have no choice but to follow it. Price is going to force us to buy it. Here we are here. Prices should be forcing you to buy it here and forcing you to stop it out below this candle, 1175. You can buy this thing now. You'd been better off buying it right here at 12 inside this little area. But as you can get the picture, what we're doing here, okay, getting ready to break out. So I like this as prices are tightening up here, and then you can probably draw like a little. I don't want to mess my screen up here, but you can probably draw. Here's the top, and then prices triangling up into this area, kind of wedging up in here. Okay, so beautiful stuff there on that ARWR. Realty. Okay. AES, this thing looked really good, and I said, okay, we'd have to come down a little bit, and it did just that. Let me show you what I'm talking about. A lot of reversions back to these means, guys. So look at this beautiful trend on the year, you guys. Hands down, just beautiful uptrend here, reverting back to this bottom line. I like to, hasn't came all the way down. This is really the bottom of it here. Well, this may be the bottom of it, because here's the bottom here, bottom here, bottom here, bottom here. Here's the bottom of it here. The bottom's there. This may be the bottom of it here. So I like to buy this, use this as the bottom, and stop yourself out below 1425. AES, get long on that thing and use that bottom space to stop yourself out, like Bruce Kovner said. Stop yourself out where the trend says you may be incorrect. Okay? Use the trend as your friend, literally. It's like a backboard. Like if you're shooting a jumper, you know, you're using that backboard. Let's use this backboard as our space. Stop us out. ARWR, you kind of missed this curl a little bit. All right, you've seen prices holding up here. That was a big clue for you to buy that thing, and kind of another trend line just bouncing up. So I hate to buy that thing now. You kind of missed the bounce, a huge bounce there. But as you guys see, this thing all across the board, you guys, these trends are definitely holding these levels. Not these higher up parts of the trend. They broke below those uptrend, these levels here, and now they're using kind of like this slanted area. Now uptrends are kind of slanting. Most of them are slanting in this area here. They're not using this higher point here. They're slanting in this area, okay? Catching themselves way down here towards the 200-day moving average, okay? ARWR looking wonderful. So get ready to watch that thing and see what happens. But you see it definitely curled and started to continue with price there. I don't know why I had AU Gold on the list. It's not one of the better looking ones, but we'll just take a look at it, okay? So reversed price here. Look, here's the yearly. This is a yearly time frame, okay? Reversed price. We were in a long downtrend. We were in a long downtrend here, and then boom, hit this bounce, and then now we reverse price, came down here. I like, see this? Pull back, uptrend, pull back, uptrend. Here we go here. Sorry about that. You guys, we're going to break down the sign. So pull up, way up trend here, and then a pullback, and you buy these pullbacks here, and then use these little buffer spaces, okay? Use these little buffer spaces. Here's another one. These look identical. Look at this, this, and this. This, and this, okay? This, and this. They almost look identical, okay? So you're a little bit late, but you could still, this thing may continue to the upside based off the pattern here. So you could have bought it here when it started. You got to recognize these patterns, guys. Buy them here and let price force you out, okay? AU, I like that thing for continuation. See if it gives you a better spot to enter at. BDSI, let me get through these quickly. I told you guys there's a lot of stuff on here, a lot of trends to look at, a lot of stuff. I hate, you know, I don't take any credit from anybody, but look, I can't listen to everybody. Hey, the market's bearish, the market's bearish. I've got several positions that are open that are green, and green from this week by a long shot, big shot, okay? And we'll look at those later. Trend line kind of in this area. See this thing? This kind of trend line area. You want to buy it in here. All right. You could have bought it down here at 375 and used this as your buffer space down here at 360, 355, and you would have been green going up. All right. So wait for this thing to come back, but definitely on the move there. BDSI. All right. CLF looks wonderful. Let me show you guys why. All right. I love this right now. I love all this. All right, uptrend pullback, uptrend pullback, uptrend pullback, uptrend pullback, uptrend pullback in this area. Here you go. You could have bought this uptrend, this pullback, and then got some confirmation there. All right, bounce right there, right off this uptrend. Trend line here. You can basically draw a trend line from this area clearly into this area here, okay? It's a no-brainer, guys. Don't give me that crap that the markets are crap and there's no signals and this, that, and the third. I've got several green positions from this week, okay? And I have no choice but to take the signals that I'm giving, like Jerry Parker. Take your signals, block that noise, and let price stop you out if you're wrong. Let the trend show you you're incorrect. If not, you sit tight, all right? CLF. Looking good there, you guys see that right there? CLF, showing you buy zones off the trend line, all right? ENDP, one of the better monster stocks from this year, you guys. Look at this damn thing that we just traded it all the way up here, and now it's showing you more trend line action here. I like to buy this thing. You can buy it now. You're going to have to use this as a stop. I'd stop it out below this last little trend line space here, this last little, see this little trend line here. Let me tighten up the time frame so you can see the trend line. All right, little trend line area here. All right, you're right inside of it. So boom, price is being pushed down like prices have been pushed this whole chart, okay? Buy it in this area, might come stop you back out down here. It may revert back before it takes some more high. So I like to get long on that, get inside that ENDP. Hasn't lost a lot of weight inside this whole bearish little area here. So I like when stocks are showing me strength and they're holding up, I like to see that. It shows a lot about a stock and what it's doing in the direction and the strength and the buyers and everyone holding it and things like that, okay? Like to see a stock be resilient. Eric, let me just show you something really quickly. It's kind of inside of a little up higher in that zone there. Here's the bottom of it, bottom of it, bottom of it, bottom here. Here was the bottom. Smart buyers came in and bought it right off this bottom here and pushed it up. So wait to see what happens with that. But you see the bottom here, you get the point. Wait for that thing to come back down into that zone. But there's something else. That's about 23 billion in market cap holding that thing up. FBP looks really wonderful. Let's get you to take a look at that. First Bank Corp. All right, just really pushing this issue up here. Just a lot of pushing up here. That thing's down, ready to break out. A lot of strength there. Stop yourself out below this trend here. 865, even 850. Okay, but just a lot of pushing going on. If you wanted to tighten up, you can just use 9 as this little zone here. Use 9. But it may stop punch you out, so give yourself some space inside this little area here. But definitely buy some strength, push that thing up out of there. definitely looking great, and I doubt that it won't be able to hold up price. That thing's been holding up price for some time this whole year. Just look how stellar that thing looks. FRED looks a lot like DERM. Man, this thing looks damn good, you guys. All right, breaking. I just loved how this thing was trading for the last couple sessions I've been seeing it. All right, I just knew this was gold when I saw this little continuation here. So off the 200 and the 20-day crossing. You guys know that's love making music for these stocks that we've been following, especially when we're following trends here. When that 200 and that 20-day cross, boy oh boy, some beautiful things start happening. So I like FRED now for continuation. Don't let that thing run without you. And if it starts breaking, it already broke over this. That's a major freaking clue. 293 broke over 293. That thing looks darn good. That thing could definitely start opening up this chart here. That looks really good. Looks a lot like DERM, one of my open longs. All right, I was trying to open up a long on FRED actually this week, and I didn't have any free capital. I was waiting for some to settle and things like that. So GOL, I love this Brazilian, something about some Brazilian stuff, something like that. Airlines, Brazilian Airlines, something like that. But look at this. Found the bottom, you know, rounded here. I showed this thing last week, I believe. Rounded here, came down, and then just bolted, kind of changed this whole direction around. So this thing could clearly come back and knock that out. Look, when prices are to the upside, all right, when they finish their little pullback, major pullbacks, you have to buy them. When they show you that they're continuing, you have to look, force the issue. Buy this thing. If you see the trend line coming up, don't ask questions, just buy it. Force this thing to force you out, and you would have never got forced out. And you'd been about up tripled your entry from here. When you saw the double bottom, you saw the bottom here, and you saw prices starting to round off, like all the trend line bounces we've been seeing here. See stocks deliberately find their bottoms and just deliberately start showing you like a little trend in this area here. You have to force your hand on the market. Say, I'm gonna buy this. If I'm wrong, okay, whatever happens, just force me out. Force your hand, dude. You have to literally force your hand. Say, all right, force me out if I'm wrong. All right, GTN looking, I don't know why this is on here. I like something to look a little bit better than this, but okay. We found a bottom here, just like the one we just got done looking at. Bottom clearly there, clearly bounced here, and then you were supposed to buy this little trending area here, and then just ride this thing and force yourself out inside this little trending area. See it here? When prices start denying this bottom and pushing up, you have to buy that. Get along with that and use this as like a backboard, guys. You're making a bank shot, okay? Force me out here. If not, let me grind up. All right, and you look how good that was. All right, so I like this thing for continuation now, and it just really tightened this area. It just really tightened here. You know, it might. I like for it to revert back around this area or something like that. But just you know, looking really good there. GTN, HLIT. All right, HLIT. Let's see why we're looking at this thing. Okay. Trend line area here, trend line low bottom here, trend line here. Supposed to buy these trend line areas, guys, right here. Buy them here. Regardless if, I can't buy it. It's regardless. Follow price. Who cares if it's up here towards old highs, you know, to old resistance levels. Just follow price. We're battling in here for a reason. Buy this. All right. Use these areas. Okay. Not the wick that just pops you out. We're talking about closes. You would have never got stopped out. Price never closed below these areas here, below this. See this little trend line price? That's why it's there. All right, use this. Stop yourself out. So don't give me that crap that there's no signals, all the stocks are red and this and that and the third. I understand we're under trading and being careful, but look at all these damn signals we have to take and how much bouncing we're getting off these trend line areas. So don't give me that crap. And don't look at me like I'm retarded when I show you my open longs and they're green and this and that. I'm showing you guys proof of where we could have bought all these trend line bounces, all these support levels. Look at this. LOCO, you look at this. Here's the trend line area here. Bottom support level. Basically riding this 20-day moving average. Riding this, bouncing right off of it. Here it was here. You're all along this chart, you were supposed to buy these. Buy these, sit tight, buy these, sit tight, buy these, sit tight, buy these and sit tight, buy those, buy this, buy this. Look at this. Buy zone, buy. Off the trend line, off what we're talking about. Use these zones right here. If you notice them in the chart, use them. Buys, stops, here, buys here, stops here, buys here, stops below here, buys here, stops there, buys here, stops below here, buys in this area, stops below here, buys in this area, stops below here, and you were supposed to buy here with the stop below this area. And then boom. Don't give me crap, guys, about, you know, you don't have it, there's no signals and Don't ask if I tell you, hey, I'm 70% not in cash. Because look at all the signals I have to take that are making me buy them on these levels, these trend line areas. Of course I'm not going to be all the way in cash. The market's forcing my hand to buy these things. I like this thing. You could have bought it there. You were supposed to buy it here when you got continuation. You can buy it now and then stop yourself out below 4. Let that thing ride up. MEET. All right. NUAN. We're almost wrapped up, guys. Just had to make some valid points for you guys, okay? Just buy price, guys. Don't question these trends. Here we are again. Here's the bottom. Here's the bottom of it. Here's the bottom of it. You're supposed to buy the bottom there. You can even buy this lower portion here. All right. Stop yourself out below 1650. NUAN. All right. Office Depot and Pandora. Both of these things looking quite well. I told you guys I have a lot of crap on here, and that's not my fault. Just showing you guys where we're buying at. Buy this thing now. But stop yourself out below 240. As you see, buy zone, buy. I sound like those guys off that one Finding Door when those seals, whatever they were, sea goose things were fighting over that mine. Buy. You know, look, buy here, buy. We're buying all these levels. Buy these levels here. Look at this beautiful buy here. Beautiful buy here right now. Stop yourself out below that. I love the way that looks. Office Depot. And that thing clearly may end up here in the top right. Like all the other pulls that we're buying here in these areas. And that looks good. I'm really surprised with Pandora, guys. I'm really surprised with this thing. Look at this. Something else we've been following this year. Something else we're following this year, right? Buy here, buy zones. All right, let's just use these zones right now. We have no choice, especially with the market right now. A lot of things are reverting back to their mean, so to speak. Reverting back to their lower portion of their trend lines. Buy the lower portion of the trends and let price force you out, okay? Buy this thing now and you can, you know, you need some confirmation before you start buying, all right? So you can buy it now. You obviously you couldn't buy the very bottom of it, but you buy it now and use this as your stopping point. 777. Look at that, triple sevens. 777. Use that as your buying stop out point. Your stop out point. Buy price now and stop it out there. But you kind of missed it a little bit. But all right, you get the point. When you start seeing things here, you need to buy them when they're in the correct areas. All right. Show you some. I showed you guys ATRS, that open long I had. Here goes another open long of mine. That's kind of forced me to buy it back in this area. Forced me to buy it. Never got stopped out, so I'm sitting tight up here. And as you see, where are we going? Look, clear bottom there. But look, how many charts have we dissected here? And the price has only gapped down to chew back inside the gap. How many? Plenty. Tens, maybe hundreds. Maybe not hundreds, but tens. 10, 20, 30, 50, 40, 60, 70, 80 chart. Maybe 100 charts. We've looked at when stocks have gapped down and then prices chew back into this gap. Just trade it. Don't question it, all right? So here we are in this zone. I really like DERM. And look at that. If this is a yearly, that 200 and that 20, when they cross, boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy. They haven't crossed yet, but when they do, boy, oh boy. And you see this thing at the top report. That's why I haven't been worried. Look at this month, guys. That's why I really haven't been worried too much about all the noise and all the noise in the markets, because if stocks are going to do this and come test these highs, look. If stocks are going to come back and test these highs, look. Way from this bottom, we've already ate up so much of this chart from 795. Look at the bottoms here, though. You buy these bottoms. You buy these bottoms. You buy these. You buy these. You buy that, and you buy this. This thing may try to get over this area and then revert back. And if this thing keeps doing this angle and this price action is doing, of course, it may take some time, but eventually, if it keeps doing what it's doing, higher highs and lows, knocking these highs, come knock these highs out. You know, if prices keep knocking out all these highs, you guys, eventually we're going to chew this whole damn chart back up. And you need to sit tight while it's doing that, all right? Billions are made that way. Billions are made that way. Another long I took this week. Billions are made that way. Billions. All right, another long I'm sitting on. I'm loving it. I showed you guys this thing on the show coming into the week, and don't say I didn't. Showed you guys this GRTS. All right, don't say I didn't. Look what happened this week too. All right, we were right here. We opened at 17. Where are we at now? Don't look all the racket I heard last week, this trading week, about, you know, bearish. I know the market's overall bearish, but what business do I have listening to all that noise and missing these kind of moves like this? I added right in this zone too. As soon as we jumped over this and jumped over this area here, I boom started adding 1740. Boom, started adding, and look, already at 20. Once we get inside of 20, you guys, thing really can get moving. So I showed you guys this one this week. You could have, anyone could have bought that. If you watched my show, you would have said, okay, GRTS on the watch list. If it breaks out above this area, boom, it was buy. I was telling you guys to just buy it and just get into the move as it was moving already. But look it, not a whole bunch of volume, but we don't need the whole bunch of volume. When we just following price, here it opened up this year here. When it broke out above that was a clear damn sign. Green, I'm green on GRTS this week, minus the noise, okay? Minus the noise. GOGO, I'm long. This is the last stock we're going to look at today. Thank you guys, man. I know this is a long show, but so much information to cram in here, okay, guys? Just so much information to cram in here. GOGO. GOGO, I'm long GOGO. I'm long this thing, okay? I'm long this thing. I'd really love for you guys to add it here where it's at right now. You already got some green coming off this bottom here. Buy this thing right now. Stop yourself out below. Let's give it. You can use that 533. That's a little bit tight. If you like it things a little bit tighter, that's fine. I'm gonna use this level here at 5. All right. And I love for this thing just to keep going, setting higher height. Look, found the bottom. Here it is, the bottom here. Here's the bottom here. Here's the bottom here. And I'm asking you to buy this bottom here and use these stop. Go ahead, stop me out, force me out. When these things find a clear bottom, you buy them. Clear bottom, buy it. Clear bottom there, buy it. Clear bottom here. It's a clear bottom in price. This is a clear bottom in price right here. Buy it and let price force you out. I showed you guys 100 charts today that just that's proving you that, okay? So I really love what I'm seeing, you guys. I really love what I'm seeing, minus the racket and all the other crap. I really love what I'm seeing. I'm just going to keep trading the process. Remember, Larry Height said, keep making good bets. There's good bets and bad bets. Only thing you can do in your career is just keep making good bets. Let's listen to Bruce Kovner and use these trend lines as our stops. Let price stop us out. Let the trend stop us out. Not you know, our position size and things. Let's let the actual trend stop us out, okay? So, I can't give it to you guys any better than that. I'm giving you guys what I'm seeing, and I'm green this week, trading like this, and only thing I can say is just use these things and let the market force your hand. You know, if the market's going to force you to buy, you have to buy. You got to keep making good bets. And now since things are the way they are, just use these pressing things that are pressing you out. Okay, fine. That's the price of doing business if you get stopped out. But if not, we're hitting home runs. All right? This is a perfect time to be buying things when they're reverting back to the 200-day moving average and bouncing off of them, because they might take off and it might be not till the end, the middle. You might not be able to look back and find another entry like these. Okay, because prices may be so far reverted to the top of their trends and such forth. Okay, so protect your ass. Happy trend following.